Okay guys, this is the Kahr CW9 9mm pistol. Now before I get into this review, I want to tell you all up front that I have always said that in my reviews it's very important that I give you guys my honest opinion on what I review and how I feel about the items. For some of these people that's been watching me for 4 years, they take what I say and they write it off as that's the way it is. They trust me after 4 years and doing techniques and things or whatever that I've told them, or certain things I've told them that they've done with a gun and they've come to find out it was true. I have several people that trust my opinion, so I'm going to give you my honest opinion. I wouldn't want to steer anybody wrong. Now, why do I have this Kahr CW9 when I don't care for Kahr Firearms? Because someone that I know contacted me and they wanted to get some quick money for Christmas or whatever, and they said they wanted to sell it to me for $200. And I know when they got the gun, it was about 6 months ago. So I said, yeah. I'll go ahead and pick it up off of you. Why not? This is the extended magazine, by the way. Now, there are a lot of things that are good about this gun, but there's one thing about this Kahr that kills it for me. There's one negative on this gun that is the reason why I do not prefer it as a carry gun, as a defense gun, and I'll get to that here in a little bit. First, let's go over the things that I do like about the gun. Gun is empty. It's been cleared before the camera was on. Number one is the size. It is very slim and would be easy to conceal if you were to carry this. 9mm. The weight, it's not overly heavy. It's a good weight for the size that it is. I think fit and finish is decent. The polymer doesn't look as good a quality as it is on the Glocks or the XDs. I'm not saying that it's not. It's just the polymer, if you look up here, it just looks a little different than some of the Glocks, or that the Glocks and the XDs do to me. The sights are okay. I don't mind that style of sight. But the one thing that really kills it for me with this gun is the trigger. Now, I know a lot of guys that they go out and get a carry concealed permit, or they're new to guns, and what they do is they go to a gun store, and this is bad. That's why you need to talk to people that know things before you go buy a gun, because it can really help you in the long run. And I have a lot of guys that like that ask me questions, and I'm sure to always answer them back. But they go to a gun store, they look in the case, and they say, that one looks like a good size. I think it looks cool. Looks pretty neat. And they say, okay, I'll take that one. Now that guy that is new to guns, or newer to guns and hasn't shot a lot, and wants to get something to carry, he now buys a gun without ever testing the trigger pull or knowing how the trigger is and how it feels. It's not a good thing to do. And that is the one thing that kills it for me with this gun. It is the trigger. Okay, and I'm going to go over why it is the trigger. Okay, when you pull this trigger, it's the same weight all the way rearward, okay? It's the same weight. You get all the way back till you think it can't go any further, and then it breaks at the same poundage that it started with up here. All the way back, all this travel, it's the same poundage. There is no slight stopping point. There is no taking up slack. And then you get to here and then click. It's just the same heavy pull. Well, it's not actually that heavy, but it's the same poundage pull all the way rearward. Don't know when it's going to go. And then boom, right at the last second. That's as far as this trigger will go. Now here's another thing I don't like about the trigger on these cars. I will rack the slide to reset the trigger. Now I'm going to show you where the trigger reset is at on this gun. Coming all the way up here. Still going, still going, still going. Boom. Okay, now there's where it reset. And if I take my finger off, there's the final point. me show you again. It pretty much resets all the way at the starting point. There we go. Going. There it reset, and it's a little eighth of an inch more, and it's at its full. It's out as far as it'll go. I'm going to explain to you guys a couple of things of why I don't like this trigger, and why I think this trigger at times could be a dangerous thing in certain aspects of how you use your gun. Okay, so you're pulling it back. There's no difference in poundage whatsoever all the way through here. The trigger pull is the same. There's no stopping point. Watch, you just keep going and going and click. There's no stopping point. Now let me show you with a Glock. Difference on a trigger that I like. Gun is cleared and empty. Now here, watch. Now I'm going to pull this trigger, but I'm not going to release the firing pin. Taking up the slack to where this is just ready to release the firing pin. Watch. Now watch. Click. See that? Show you again. I feel it. I'm stopping right there. I feel it. Now if I wanted to, I could just go all the way back, yeah. But if I want to feel where that trigger's going to break, I can do it every time. Ready? Okay. Now I'm going to show you the reset on the Glock. Rack the slide to reset it, and right there it just reset. Now, there it is all the way out. I'll show you again. So right there you're at your reset point. Now, here's why I prefer this kind of trigger better. Now, if you are holding a suspect at bay, and I'm talking about a case where you think that you may still have to pull this trigger at any given time. For instance, a guy 10 feet away from you with a machete or an axe or a big knife. A guy not too far away with you with a gun down at his side. I'm talking about you may have to fire this gun, even though you're pointing at him right now, and you're not firing yet. You may have to fire this gun at any given split second. He charges you with a machete. He draws the gun up from his side where he's holding it. He's holding his gun at his side. You're telling him drop the gun, or drop the knife, and he's in close enough distance to you. Well, in that case, all day long, I can pull in the slack of this Glock to where it's ready to break, and I feel safe about it. I can pull in the slack of this Glock while pointing it at someone, and I can still feel safe until I want this gun to go off. And I'm talking about only doing this if you think within a split second you're going to have to pull this trigger. You would not do this for someone laying on the ground with their arms spread out in total submission. You would not do this for an unarmed person. You would not do this for somebody with just their fists and hands. But I'm talking about you think that it's going to be your life in a split second. I can take up the slack on this trigger, and I can hold it there. He moved his gun up. Bang. Here we go. I'm holding him at bay. He brings his gun up. Right there. I was right on where the trigger breaks. With this gun, I could never ever, especially in a stressful situation, safely and honestly tell you that I could hold this gun back at any point without knowing if it would go off or not, because there is no stopping. There is no different trigger weight when it gets rearward. It just goes the same weight, and then way back here it snaps. Now, could you bring the trigger back just by feel, maybe, and just guess? Yeah. But when your fine motor skills are gone, let me tell you, the last thing you want to do is be playing with a jumpy trigger finger and taking up slack on the trigger. You better have some training. I would never hold this trigger in before I was going to use this gun, I would hold it just like this. Because very touchy. When you're looking down the gun this way, see, when you're looking down the gun this way, remember, you're not going to see how far back your finger is. Right now, I'm guessing how far my finger's back, because I can't tell. This trigger is the same weight all the way till it breaks. I can't tell. Okay? Now with a Glock, watch. Okay, fingers off the trigger, you see that? Okay? Now I'm going to get ready to take this trigger to its breaking point. Boom, I just felt it. I felt it. Solid. Watch. There we go. I'll do it again for you. Fingers off the trigger. I am putting my sights on target. I'm going to get ready for the shot. I'm going to pull the trigger in to the breaking point. Okay, I got the trigger into the breaking point. Ready for it? Boom. See, I knew right where it was. I can do that all day long. That is what kills it for me with the Kahr Firearms. Sorry if I offended you, but I will never change anything that I say on this channel for you or what you say if you are who I'm talking to. That is my opinion, guys. Maybe giving some of you new guys that watch the channel a little bit of insight, giving you some things to think about. You know, if you really want this gun, go try one out. Rent it at the range, borrow your buddies. Keep in mind these ideals I just told you. See if that's something you really want. I'm just here to help, guys. I'm just here to help and inform you guys. That's what I want to do on YouTube. Help and inform and give any kind of points and tips where I can. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Coming up next, I will review this Kahr PM9 against the XDS 45. Even though we're talking 45 and 9mm, I'm going to show you a size comparison on that XDS. Alright guys, until next time, this is H4T, and I am out of there.